On the top of my environment, you can see the Solidworks button. If I hover my mouse over that, you can see the menu is going to pop open. If I remove my mouse from that, you can see the menu is going to collapse. So if you wish to have it there, you can pin it by click on this pin. That's going to be pinned here, and it will always show. Whenever you need a command, just go over that menu item, click on that, and that's going to open for you. Whenever you do not need it, just click on an empty space in your environment. There is a mini access toolbar here. You can see some very common commands such as opening a new document. The new document can be a part, assembly, or drawing. You can see the open here. This means that if you want to open an already existing drawing or part or assembly, you can click on that. Or also you can press Ctrl O as a shortcut, and I prefer shortcuts better. You can have save, print, undo, and redo. And of course the rebuild, this one is very useful, and you can use Ctrl B to rebuild the item that you have created, mostly on assemblies. And of course you have options. If you click on options, you have different options to change the environment and work with customization options that are here. I'm going to talk about all of these later. So I cancel this out. What I'm going to do is to click on new here. I can click on new or press Ctrl N or go to file and click on new. All of them are the same, and they will open this dialog box for me. That will help me to create a new part, assembly, or a drawing. Obviously, if you do not have any part, assembly is not going to work for you unless you create a part inside your assembly. And again, if you do not have a part or assembly, the drawing is not going to be useful. So basically we go for part. And you can see this dialog box has two different versions. The basic version or the novice version is the version that you right now see them. In this version, you just see a basic type of templates that you can choose from. If you go to advanced, again I see these three templates. That's because I do not have any other template imported or created. So if I create a template or import a template, I will see that template in the list of templates here. Also, I have a tutorial tab that will help me to learn about part, assembly, or drawing more. But I prefer to go back to template. What I'm going to do is to go back to novice. Again, it doesn't matter because I only have these three templates. I click on the part and click on OK, and the environment is going to change for me. Right now you can see that I have a list of commands. These commands are categorized. You can see these little lines here. These lines mean that different categories of commands are gathered together, and you can call them galleries. I do not call them galleries because they do not have any name, and of course you can move the commands between different galleries. That this will break the concept of categorizing the different commands inside the gallery. I will show you how you can customize the commands, how you can move the commands between different galleries, or add or remove these commands to different galleries. But you should know that we have different tabs here. Some of the tabs are here, for example feature, sketch, evaluate, and some of them are hidden. If you want to make them visible, just click on any of these tabs, right click on any of these tabs. By right clicking, this menu is going to pop open, and you can choose different tabs to appear here. For example, if I want to have surfaces commands, I just click on surfaces and make sure the surfaces tab appears here. If I want to work with sheet metal, I just click on sheet metal. If I do not need any of these tabs, I just right click and remove them by just clicking on the item, and this will remove the check beside that, and the tab is going to disappear. Once again, going to sheet metal, that's going to disappear. So these are the most common tabs that you will use. I'm not going to change it unless I need a new command. On the left side you can see a drawer, and I call it drawer because I can click on this little circle here. That's going to collapse the drawer, and if I click on this little circle once again, that's going to open this drawer. Inside this drawer I have different tabs, such as the feature manager. That is the most important feature manager here that's going to help me to work with different features that I add or remove or customize to a part. We have property manager. Again, this is going to open when I select a feature, a sketch, or an item, and this will help me to change the properties of that item. I have configuration manager. This is mostly important when I have different configuration for a part. I'm going to show you how you can add different configuration to a part. This is very, very powerful, and you can compare it to what you see in CATIA. And again, CATIA is the is a software that is created by the same designer of this environment. I have DIM Expert Manager, I have Display Manager, and all of them are going to help me to work with my part. Right now I do not have any parts, so most of them are blank. And in the middle we see the environment for working with our parts, assemblies, or drawing. This environment has a little effect. You can see this has a very, very pale gradient that will help me to visualize the distance. I can change this visualization. On the top of this environment you can see different buttons. This will help me to zoom in, zoom out, zoom to fit, or have different views that I have. I can go to section view, I can have dynamic annotation view, I can have orientations, and I'm going to show you some shortcuts for orientation. The most important shortcut is going to be the space bar. We can have display style. This will help me to choose between for example, wireframe, shaded, shaded with edges. I have a button here that will help me to show or hide different items. Again, you can select most of this from view, show, hide, or hide show, of course, or you can just go here and hide or show different features inside your part. On the right side we have appearance. We can add different colors or style to our part or parts of our part. We can have a scene. Right now you can see this scene, as I told you, is a pale gradient. This will help me to visualize the distance, but I can have different scenes such as the rooftop, for example, country yard, urban background, or different items such as these. The 3-point faded environment, that is the default, that's going to be okay. Sometimes I prefer to have plain white and work in this environment, and again I go back to the default environment. That's a better environment, and that's going to be a little pleasing to the eyes, because if I choose white, after some time it is going to hurt my eyes. And also on the right side we have different view settings, and some of them you can see are enabled, such as shadows. If you want to remove the shadows, you can just click on this, and you will want to remove the shadows. Sometimes your system doesn't work properly, sometimes it is going to be a little hard for your system to render the view, so you just click on this and remove it, and this feature is going to be removed to help you to have a smoother experience of your environment. Sometimes you want to see the perspective, but most of the time I prefer to have the parallel environment, that is going to be the opposite of perspective, and work with that. So this is my environment, and on the right side you can see these buttons. These tell me that I can have different documents open at the same time and work with them. If I click on this restore, you can see that this is a window that I can shrink it, I can maximize it, I can work with that, and I can have different windows of this type open here to work on different parts at the same time. But I prefer to work with one part right now, so I just maximize this to to occupy the whole space that I can have in my environment. On the bottom side of this environment, the only thing that is very important is the units button here. You can see right now the IPS units, that is going to be inch, pound, and second. That's the active units for my environment. So whenever I use this, I mean, if I type in a number, that's going to be either the distance in inches, the weight in pounds, or the time in seconds. So if I click on that, I can choose between different unit types, and of course I can click on edit document units to add another type of units. By clicking on that, I can add my customized unit. You can see the custom here. Okay, again, I'm going to talk about this later, so I cancel this out, and that's going to be the introduction of this environment. In next section we will start working with different commands in different tabs.